Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight on this cold, cold winter day. Appreciate you coming out. We're also going to have folks watching on TV, so we want to get started. Welcome to the town's annual reorganization meeting, where we take certain actions taken every year at the beginning of the year to set up for the year to come. Actions which are on this agenda here, which most of you have. I've been told that there might be a page missing from the one that was distributed to the public, but the town board has the correct one, and we'll get going and follow that. All right. So to start things off, I'd like to have our town clerk take attendance and get us officially started. Then we'll have the new president of our CSEA bargaining unit lead us in the pledge. Charlie?
All right. This is the reorganization meeting, and this is Tuesday night, January 6th. The year is 2015. Wow, that was fast. And on the roll call, Councilman Troy.
Present.
Councilman Dibney.
Here.
Councilman Moore.
Here.
Councilman Valentine.
Here.
Supervisor Stewart.
Here.
Ms. Ronnie? Yes. Would you like to begin the pledge?
Thank you very much, Ronnie, and thank you, Charlie. By the way, the microphone there does work for members of the board. The one on the left works. This one works here, and we also have a podium as well. We'll get into more introductions and thank yous as we go along, but we wanted to start with a bang, and that is we're going to have the Tappan Zee High School a cappella group, the TZers, give us a musical presentation, starting with Julie Bartels singing the national anthem. Julie, thank you so much. This microphone right here does work if you'd like to use it.
Okay. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Julie. That was beautiful. You have a beautiful voice. And the others will get a chance to sing shortly. But we wanted to start out with an invocation by Monsignor Jack O'Keefe of St. Margaret's Church. Monsignor, if you can use the podium there if you'd like.
I was at this podium 2 years ago, and the microphone, everybody said, didn't work. And I came up, and I realized what the problem is. There's a switch on it, and they hadn't turned it on. Let us bow our heads and pray. Our Father and our God, as we stand at the beginning of a new year, We confess our need of your presence and your guidance as we face the future. We each have our own hopes and expectations for the year ahead, but you alone knows what it holds for us, and you can give us the strength and wisdom we need to meet all its challenges. So humbly we pray that you help us by your saving hands and to trust you and seek you with all our lives in 2015. In the midst of life's inevitable disappointments, help us turn to you for the stability and comfort we need. In the midst of life's uncertainties in the days ahead, assure us of the certainty of your unchanging love. In the midst of life's temptations and the pull of our own stubborn self-will, help us not to lose our way and to have courage to do what is right, regardless of the cost. We pray for our nation during these difficult times and for all those seeking to bring justice and peace to our troubled world. We especially pray for those who serve in the armed forces of our country. We thank you for their commitment to defend our freedoms, even at the cost of their own lives. Be with their families and assure them of your love and our concern. Protect and defend all who serve our towns, our counties, our cities, our state, especially all police officers, firefighters, emergency service personnel, and those who work in occupations dedicated to the care of others. Bring our divided nation together and give us a vision of what you want us to be. Console and strengthen all who have suffered in any way in this past year, especially those who faced financial difficulties, a challenging illness, or the death of loved ones. As we look over the past year, we thank you for your goodness towards us, far beyond what we have deserved. May we never presume on past blessings or forget your mercies toward us, but may they instead lead us to a new year and a deeper commitment to you as the foundation and center of our lives. We ask this in God's name, amen.
Thank you, Monsignor, for those words. We will follow that up with another presentation by the Tappan Zee High School a cappella group Tease Ears. This is two songs. One is God Bless America, and the other is Don't Worry Child, and then / Save the World.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Who's gonna save the world tonight? Who's gonna bring you back to life? We're gonna make it you
Thank you. That was extraordinary. Thank you so much. You've really blessed us tonight. And I'm so glad that we're getting this on the TV and on the tape, and you can certainly share it with your friends later when it gets up onto the town's YouTube channel.
We appreciate being the opportunity to come and perform for you and share with the town. And of course, it's a school night, so we've got to get everybody back home and on the homework.
I appreciate that. Thanks so much for coming out and for saying that. Really do appreciate it. And my daughter is at home tonight. She's doing her homework because she has a bit of a low fever, and she's a big fan of the Pitch Perfect movie. And I think to some extent that song will remind her of that. So the a cappella group's in there. The next couple of items on our agenda are, one of them is supervisors' appointments. The next one is a State of the Town speech, which I will deliver. And then we'll have comments from the town council, concepts, goals for the year, whatever folks have to say. And then we'll have a benediction by Rabbi Daniel Pernick, who presumably can wait, 25 minutes or so to do that. Is that all right? Okay. Thank you for coming. And then we do have some refreshments and cookies in the hall. And then we'll have a few housekeeping business items to take care of before we close the meeting out. And so the first item I just wanted to put together, it's not an official town board vote, but it's just a recognition and an appointment of 3 individuals who serve the town, but serve at my discretion. Essentially, they're supervisors' appointments. And one of them is Jeffrey Bensick, who's our finance director. Jeffrey, could you just raise your hand? There he is. Thank you for your service, and I appreciate you being willing to continue on for another year. Elijah Reichlin-Melnick, who's my assistant, sitting over here, and also Alan Riff, who's deputy supervisor, sitting between the two of them. So I will have them on my staff this year and look forward to working with them and with the town board and with everybody else to continue our service to the town of Orangetown. Secondly, I wanted to say a couple words. It's actually about 5 pages or so, related to our work together for the town. And it is very much a pleasure and an honor, and I think a worthy thing to try to do, although you have to be very selective because we don't have a lot of time, to say a thing or two about things that have gone well in the last year and things that we're looking forward to for the year to come. I wanted to start out just by once again welcoming and recognizing a few important people who are here. First and foremost, my wife Rachel, who's sitting over here. Thanks for coming tonight. Also to Monsignor O'Keefe and Rabbi Pernick for coming out and offering your spiritual blessings, and to Julie Bartels, wonderful singer, and the Tappan Ziers for blessing us with their music along with their teacher, Mr. Wagner. Our town clerk, Charlie Madigan, and my secretary, Kate Murphy, for their respective roles in putting this meeting together and keeping us on track. And also to the IT staff and our video volunteers for filming our meeting. My colleagues on the town board, who I'm always learning from and look forward to another year of service with. Your hard work is appreciated. And lastly, to our department heads, many of them are here tonight. If you just raise your hand, you're the most outstanding and wonderful group of people to work with. John G., I didn't see you raise your hand, so there you go. Eric, Joe, everybody else. I want to say a particular word of thanks to Police Chief Nolte, who I don't think is in the room yet tonight. I know he was over at Connor Russo's Eagle Scout ceremony. But I think it's important to note his role, particularly because in the last few weeks have been really hard on police forces across the United States. And all of us on the town board stand with our community, folks of all different stripes, creeds, races, and sort of belief systems in our shared outrage at the murders of the NYPD officers, Ramos and Liu, recently, which is an offense against police everywhere, and we will adjourn this meeting in their memories a little later on. But I wanted to say that and to recognize our police officers, knowing that they carry a certain burden now that they didn't before. So please join me in thanking Chief Nolte and the Orangetown Police Department. When Chief gets here a little later, maybe we'll give him a round of applause. By way of introduction, I just want to say we are in a strong financial position. I will skim some of these notes, but I think it's really worth just pointing out a couple of important things. In general, we are in a good fiscal state, and it's my job and the town board's job to do the town budget and to keep an eye on the bottom line. And we also have wonderful community and quality of life and a lot of great things going on in the town, and we provide kind of the foundation for those activities, whether they're church, school, community, individual, family endeavors. We are here to make sure that everybody has a safe and attractive place with great quality of life, a place that's avoided forms of overdevelopment and congestion and so on, which have happened in other places in the county. I wanted to highlight a couple of things I think we can be proud of. First, on the budget, we are under the tax cap for the third year in a row, and it is a challenge, but we've done it. We've saved the taxpayers money, and we haven't imposed severe layoffs or disrupted services that residents depend on. My budget proposal, and ultimately the budget that was carried unanimously by the town board in November, did cut discretionary spending and kept us within a 1.36% tax increase, which is well below the 2% tax cap. And the reason why taxes go up largely has to do with expenses that we can't control, things like health insurance and energy costs, pensions, and other things like that. We've also decreased the amount of reserve funds we're using, earned a really great bond rating from Moody's. So I think overall we can say we're in pretty darn good shape financially. One reason we are in good shape, and I just want to pick out a couple here, is that we always look for ways to save money or to generate some new revenues. And one of them, which I just want to point out, we'll find out more about it in the months to come when we have a report from the Broadacres Golf Management Company, Applied Golf. But I think the board did the right thing in arranging for a management contract for Broadacres, and there's been some savings there and some increased play on the golf course that's brought in more revenues. Likewise, just to pick another example, which I think is stunning, the growth in film permits in the town is really quite remarkable, up to about $200,000 a year, a fact that I attribute to the fine work done by our clerk's office and the police and highway departments in coordinating the film locations, making Orangetown an easy place, because we're already a beautiful place and a well-located place to come out and make movies. I believe that all of us on the town board, in fact all town employees, must seize every opportunity to save money and find efficiencies. And there's a few others that we'll be working on going forward, and this is just a selective list. One of them is compressed natural gas. We're working with a local company to build a compressed natural gas station behind the highway department. If all goes well, the project will net the town about $100,000 a year in rent and royalties. And it also gives access to a low cost and a very efficient form of energy so that our own fleet and those of other businesses can convert over, save money, have less air pollution, and kind of contribute to the general prosperity of the town. Load shedding, thanks to Joe Moran, working on this one along with Jeff Bensick, is a way of saving some money, making some money by running the big electrical backup generators down at the sewer treatment plant when the energy companies say that the grid is under stress. And so some of that load can be carried by our own generators, and we can get paid for that at a rate that far exceeds the cost of actually running the generator. Street lights. Right now we pay O&R about $600,000 a year to run about 3,000 street lights. We can buy those back. We can convert them to high efficiency LED bulbs, and we can save probably in the neighborhood of about $250,000 a year. So we'll be pursuing that as well. So we want to build on these successes and continue to find ways to become more efficient and to save money. As far as infrastructure, I think there's a really good story to tell here, and I just want to remind ourselves of some of the great accomplishments by our highway department, our engineers, and the folks who are working together to put some concrete and pavement in places where it's much needed in the town. There are a lot of things have been going on. The town completed the installation of the sidewalks and palisades along Oak Tree Road, a major new amenity for residents right past the community center there and the post office. The replacement of the Oak Tree Bridge in downtown Tapan is a big and very important project for the town, and that is under construction right now. The detour signs are down there, work is going on, and that will also help reduce flooding just a bit on the Sparkill Creek, which is very important. In 2014, we also overhauled the sludge filter press. Another kudos out to the sewage treatment plant staff and the folks in the engineering department there, and relined many, I don't know how many thousands of feet of sewers in Nyack have been relined, but a goodly amount which cuts down on the rainwater infiltration and ensuing potential for overflows at the pump station there and pollution of the Hudson River. So these are major public works projects, and I want to mention Senator Carlucci and Assemblywoman Ellen Jaffe for helping us get the state funds that are needed to do projects like this. And while I'm on that topic, I just want to recognize a couple of elected officials who are here, either in person or representation. Jesse Malowitz is representing Congresswoman Nita Lowey. There's Jesse back there. I know Assemblywoman Ellen Jaffe is with us in spirit, if not here in form. Former Supervisor Tom Kleiner, would you wave your hand, please, is here tonight. Nice to see you. And Senator Carlucci, I believe, was sending Justin Devendorf. I'm not sure. There you go, Justin. Thanks for coming out, and please give Senator Carlucci our regards and thanks once again. I also want to recognize the new president of our CSEA, and that's Ronnie Cummings, sitting in the back row there. Thanks for leading us in the pledge. And next to her is Fernando Seminelli, the vice president of the CSEA bargaining unit. So thanks for coming out. It's really great to have you here. So continue a little bit on with the story of good things happening in Orangetown. Another major project which we're looking forward to as far as going to 2015 is that famous sidewalk down Route 340 connecting to Route 303, which we hear a lot about, which has taken a tremendous amount of effort by the town to acquire the easements and the designs and get permits from the State Department of Transportation because it is a state highway there. And that's a big project, and you'll see that in 2015, along with sidewalks in downtown Pearl River, which will be absolutely beautiful. And so that's a project long in the making and the design and the financing, which we'll see actual work on this coming year. The new section of the J.B. Clark Rail Trail will be built in 2015, according to the State Department of Transportation. This is a project which we've worked together with the state on design issues and trying to figure out exactly how to make it work. It will run from the Blauvelt Library down to near Lowe's, where the current trail ends, and you'll be able to continue on that trail all the way down to Palisades, or if you want to take a left, go up the ridge along through the river villages all the way to Nyack. So that's good stuff. We'll also start working on design work for the massive sidewalk project around Middletown Road, which we got paid for by the state again by writing a grant. It's worth about $1.9 million. So you'll have design work and you'll see construction on that probably in 2016. And thanks to our grant writer that the town board hired, in which we supervised, Sylvia Welch. She's done a great job. So from grant writing to financing, design and construction, these are public works projects. They do take teamwork, and I just wanted to mention that again, from the highway department, the parks department, engineering, our legal, our attorneys, contracts, and so on. So let's have a real sort of round of applause right now for Jim Dean, Eric Gorton, Joe Moran, John Edwards, Jeff Bensick, and all the men and women in their departments who do such great work to make these projects happen. All right, thank you guys. It's great to see that kind of teamwork. Another one of the things that we work hard on, you know, is the whole question of public access and transparency. We do live in a democracy, and it's in all of our interest to make sure the public is kind of gets the information they need. These are some of the things which have gone on in the last year, which I think are important. Thanks to our IT department, led by Anthony Bevilacqua, and some dedicated volunteers, we are broadcasting all of our regular town board meetings on TV, and we're archiving them on our YouTube channel so people can go and check them out. Welcome to Stefan Muno from the Highway Department. People continue to sign up for our town email list, and we get more and more of them all the time. And we started another one, which you can sign up for on the homepage, which is just for agendas. So if you're a real town government interest person, then sign up for that one, and you'll get agendas for the land use board meetings and so on. And that'll come out every week or so. Not everybody does have time to get down to the building department when they want to know what's going on with a construction project or a site plan that they've heard about that maybe is going to affect their life in some way. So in response to concern over, for example, the Hillside and the Anelotech proposals, we posted an unprecedented amount of documents on the town website so that people can read about the projects and figure out if they have questions to ask and maybe come out to a land use board meeting, which are held down in the Orangeburg center there where the building department is in the Orangeburg Library. And I just want to mention the police department again for adding some important technologies this year. And this, again, it's a selective list, but their Facebook page has about 1,000 followers now. There's Chief Nolte there. We were talking about you earlier, Chief, and giving you in the police department recognition for your role, and we very much appreciate it. In particular, the Narcan training, so that you're now able to rescue people who have overdosed on drugs and actually bring them back to life. The Project Lifesaver bracelets that enable families to be able to track loved ones who might be vulnerable to wandering off and getting lost. And of course, the overall upgrade of the Emergency Operations Center downstairs here in the multipurpose room is a great achievement. We'd like to see that one grow as the year goes on. The town board has committed funds for some more elements down there. So moving forward, I think we should try to do more to improve public access and kind of keep on going and using technology to make it easy for people to know what's going on, ask questions, make comments, make their views known. I just want to note also that my secretary, Kate, is working on a welcome booklet for the town, which would be printed in good old-fashioned paper with all of our department heads' contact info and descriptions of their services. The town used to have such a booklet many years ago, and I think we can do another one, and it'd probably be appreciated by folks who maybe don't go online or just want to know what's going on. Another thing we do well, I think, as a town board and a town is we don't define ourselves so narrowly just to be working on things which are operational. That is our most important thing, but we also go to bat for our town residents when we need to on issues and in domains that we don't control directly, but which very much have an effect on us. And to that, I just want to mention a couple of things. We had a really important hearing or public presentation this year on the Arlupa law. This is a federal law that limits local zoning authority in favor of religious land uses. It's a very important grouping of legal experts and planners talking about how to handle this law and respond to it and sort of be aware of how it can affect the town. We also had a resolution that was actually introduced by Councilman Troy calling for the reform of New York State laws that unfairly burden the town budget and our labor contract negotiation processes. And in just taking these kinds of moves can be symbolically very important, and I think kind of reminds us that we don't operate in a vacuum, that we are in the context of other levels of government and processes that are going on that we need to be aware of and always be sticking up for Orangetown's interest in those contexts. The big story in 2014 was the United Water desal plant. In 2013, this board did pass a resolution opposing the desal plant and the excessive rate hikes that would have come with it. This year we held a big public hearing in Town Hall. This place was packed. Residents spoke out, transcripts were sent to the Public Service Commission, and we were very thankful that all of this public outcry and pressure resulted in a Public Service Commission decision to prohibit United Water from building its desal plant, and it led to the creation of the Rockland County Water Task Force, which was created by a bipartisan group, its county executive and the county legislature, appointing town and county officials, interested citizens, and a number of United Water employees as well as to various committees to look at putting together a real plan for the sustainable management of Rockland County's water resources. And I sit on that group as a representative of the town supervisors and also chairing our drought committee, so looking at what to do if the drought of record, which was in 1963, ever happens again, and how we'll be ready for that. On the economic development front, we're always looking for ways to get appropriate commercial development because it relieves the tax burden on homeowners and helps to sort of spread the pain a little bit of the taxes that we need in order to keep the town running and keep people safe and the roads safe and so on. So good things have happened. The Bloomberg Data Center opened. It's one of the biggest economic development events of the year, and that is being followed by several other data center projects that we'll be seeing coming along this year. The Marriott Hotel down Orangeburg Commons, the Nilo Hotel in Nyack, Orangeburg Shopping Center just across the street is getting a whole new facade and a new kind of access road and landscaping and so on. It's going to be beautiful. These projects, again, they require teamwork by the town board, the building department led by John G., our assessor, Brian Kenny, who works closely with the Rockland County Industrial Development Agency, the Rockland County Economic Development Committee, and others, the school districts when it comes to if we're going to go down the road on tax incentives, which happens from time to time. These people work together, our town attorneys and so on, to make economic development really work in Orangetown, and we're thankful for that. Obviously, the town itself owns the best real estate around, which is the former Rockland Psych Center, and we'll continue our negotiations this year with the Office of Mental Health and the state agencies which are neighboring there on trying to look for a joint redevelopment plan, while at the same time always bringing potential investors over there to make sure that the the sort of real estate investment community knows what we've got and is regularly making proposals of one sort or another for us to consider. I just want to note again that being pro-business does not mean that we support every single proposal that comes along. Last summer, the town board did refuse to support a request to change town zoning law to allow for the construction of a sheet metal factory in a residential neighborhood. And I think that was the right thing to do, despite the fact that it was a wonderful company, and they pay high wages, and they're really great people, and their owners even live in Orangetown. So that was kind of tough. Both the Anelotech and the Hillside proposals currently are before the town's land use boards, and people have concerns and deserve answers. And so there are some kinds of development which really make sense. They're pretty much self-evidently a good thing, and others which need to be worked with, possibly refused, changed in various ways. Just take half a minute to recognize some important other things going on in the town besides what we ourselves have gotten done. I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention that we did have an Olympic silver medal win by Pearl River's Josephine Pucci. A National Blue Ribbon Award went to Franklin Avenue Elementary School. A New York State Championship win for the St. Catherine's 6th grade boys CYO basketball team. And these are real accomplishments in our community. Just a few of them, they represent the kind of people we are. Piermont got a new Lions Club. Pearl River got a new farmers market. Nyack expanded its farmers market to a second day. The Dominican Sisters of Spark Hill, who are a wonderful group, celebrated the 100th anniversary of their Sacred Heart Chapel. And finally, just to pick one other, the Raymond DiMiola VFW Post 1615 of Blauvelt celebrated their 40th anniversary, and by the way, got an award from Keep Rockin' Beautiful for their wonderful partnership with the town and the maintenance of the Walkway of Heroes Park, which is really a beautiful park. So kudos to them, and that's the kind of thing going on in this town I think we should take stock of. Finally, let's remember the local government is a partnership with the community. So in 2015, I look forward to continuing to listen to the community and working with my colleagues in town government to keep Orangetown a great place to live, work, and play. I do wish you all a happy and successful 2015, and I'd like to turn the microphone over now to my colleagues on the town board to make their own comments, if you have any. Maybe we'll just start way over on this side and go down. Is that all right? Yes. Okay. I'm handing the microphone over to Councilman Dennis Troy. Thank you for listening, and looking forward to the year ahead.
Starting by age. Age, height, all those things, all right. For those that came out tonight, I thank you for coming out on a very cold night. I don't have much to say. I think Andy did a terrific job in covering what the town had done in the past year, how we work together. So I'm looking forward to working together as a town board for 2015. I thank all the employees for the terrific services they provide the people of this town. We will continue to make sure that Orangetown is the best town in Rockland County. So that's my goals for this year.
Good evening, Happy New Year. Again, thanks for coming out. And as Dennis said, I'm not going to rehash. Andy summarized everything really well. But I got to tell you, one of the best things about being on the town board of any governmental body, we're the closest to the people, and you really interface with them. And what makes it great in Orangetown is we have a very active community, a lot of good people. As Andy mentioned, there's a lot of volunteerism. And I think we work well together because all five of us come from a background of volunteering in the town in all sorts of different ways. So I think we have a good back and forth, and look forward to another good year.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for coming out tonight. It's ridiculously cold. I'd like to say, you really don't look at what you did in the year, but when Andy went over, we did get a lot done. We stayed under the cap. This town has never gone over the cap. I mean, it's only been 4 years, but 3 + 1. So we've been under the cap for 4 years. We've increased the amount of fund balance that we have. We still provide the services that the people in this town expect. In 2015, I think the #1 goal is at RPC. A number of us on the board have met with different developers, and I think there will be some significant proposals coming down where there actually will be shovels in the ground and money coming into the town coffers. So I hope that the town board can work together to get that done. I appreciate the chief and the police department working in the town to deal with something that I pointed out is the prescription drug problem, drugs with the teenagers in town. We do have a problem, and the chief has taken the bull by the horns, and he's doing an effective job dealing with it. The Narcan program, having a police officer with the DEA task force, and the monies that are going to be coming in. I just talked to one of the agents. He says there's a significant amount of money coming into the town because of our participation in that. And finally, Andy left out another remarkable event. John Edwards got a new hip in 2014. Congratulations, John.
Well, going last has its advantages and disadvantages. First, I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year. And pretty much my fellow board members and Andy have summed everything up pretty well. The only thing which we missed was the Route 303 reconstruction project, which has been underway for some time. It's really going to see major changes in 2015. While it is annoying to go through the construction site, when it is done, it will make that part of the road much safer. So that is a big accomplishment that is slowly getting done. I think the top priority this year is going to have to be not only efficiencies, but RPC. And we're going to have to really forge forward on getting some kind of development there or sale of the property. And of course, the town employees do a wonderful job, and that's why Orangetown is such a great place to live. From the highway department to the sewer department to the building department, they work diligently for the people of the town, and we should be grateful for them, as well as the police department.
Well said. Charlie Madigan?
Hello, everybody. Hello. I would be remiss if I did not say thank you so much for 2014. It was an opportunity for the town clerk's office, and I thank you, Rose, and I thank you, Geraldine, for being here tonight, to meet and greet, and we are the heart, I believe, of government, and we are at the forefront. I have to say that I think Mr. Wagner and Julie singing the Star Spangled Banner. I thought I was shutting my eyes and being with The Voice on TV, and these young women, I think, what did they sing? Save the World? I was convinced that these young women could save the world. So I just wanted to say, because the men have done the business part of the town business, I just wanted to bring in a little bit of the emotional part, that our young people are doing such a wonderful job, and they are under, I think, tremendous stress today. But looking at these young women and having 7 granddaughters, I have to say they can save the world. They did a wonderful job, and they sang with such gusto and such self-assurance that I hope and wish in 2015 all the young people feel that that respect and love that we want them to feel. I have to say, Rabbi Pernick, thank you so much. I feel like we're family now every year. And Monsignor O'Keefe, thank you so much for coming. It certainly has been a pleasure and an honor that you come every year to our reorganization meeting. I cannot tell you what it means to us. And we're hoping by the end of this meeting that for Rabbi we're going to say Mazel Tov. He's expecting a new grandchild. And I just wanted to say to John Edwards, he could not dance before his hip. He still can't dance, I've been told, but he's always been hip in my eyes. So thank goodness that everybody's all right.
That was a
and
good
God
one.
bless everyone 2015.
Thanks so much for those comments, Charlie. That's a really great lead-in to Rabbi Daniel Pernick, who's here tonight to offer a benediction to the town. And we thank you for coming out and sharing some ideas with us tonight.
Thank you. You can also thank my daughter, Sarah, since she's still in Washington Heights and not in the hospital. But I think I really would want to conclude by noting that this afternoon, the second longest serving governor in New York State history was laid to rest. Together with Thomas Dewey and George Pataki, Mario Cuomo served the people of New York as governor for 12 years. Only Nelson Rockefeller served longer, at just under 15 years. Whether we view ourselves as a Democrat or a Republican, a conservative or a progressive, as Governor Cuomo called himself, we all recognize that these leaders shared a commitment to serving the public. All of them could have pursued more lucrative careers. All of them went into politics believing that they could make a positive difference in the lives of the people of the state of New York. As we gather tonight to swear in our town officials to reorganize the town, although it sounds like the town is pretty well organized already, we also strive to rededicate ourselves to the ideals for which Governors Cuomo, Pataki, Rockefeller, and Dewey served. Those of us here tonight in this room especially understand the sacrifices which are made by devoted public servants. We understand that, contrary to popular belief, most men and women who go into politics do so for the right reasons, regardless of their political party. There is a time to fight for our cause, but there is also a time to compromise. Business may be the art of the deal, but politics is the art of the negotiation. When people disagree, it does not mean that one is necessarily right and the other is necessarily wrong, that one is honorable and the other dishonorable. Politics is not the struggle of good versus evil, but rather the effort to serve our constituents as effectively and efficiently as possible. May the officials of the town of Orangetown be blessed in their work, and may their work serve to bless the residents and the businesses which call the town of Orangetown home. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi Pernick. At this time, we do usually take a brief recess to enjoy some of the snacks and juices and refreshments which are just outside the door here if they didn't get gobbled up on the way in, and take maybe 5 or 10 minutes to do that, and then the town board has some matters, some fairly pro forma type of resolutions to go through, the town calendar and some other stuff, which is important, but may not require many of the people who are sitting here to actually be here. So with that, I would like to offer a first resolution of the year to my town board members that we take a recess for 6 minutes. Is that all right? Okay. All in favor say aye. This meeting is in recess for the next 5 or 10 minutes. All right, those who want to stay for the meeting, stay. Those who are on their way out, feel free to leave. Teresa Kenny, please sing the national anthem. Okay, I'll make a motion to resume our meeting. Can I have a second? From Troy, all in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Just adding an item by request of our town attorneys is an executive session. Teresa asked for it, so we'll do an executive session later, after which we will close the meeting and there will be no further votes or anything like that. Number 1, this is the official undertaking for elected and appointed officials. So moved from Troy, second from Moore. All in favor say aye. The ayes have it. Number 2 is designation of marriage officers for 2015. Have a motion from this side. Divany, second from Valentine. All in favor say aye. Number 3, the official newspaper, designating the Our Town newspaper. From Divany, second from Moore. All in favor say aye. The ayes have it. Number 4, this is an additional newspaper, would be the Journal News from Divany, second from Moore. All in favor say aye. Aye. Number 5 is banking depositories, naming J.P. Morgan Chase, First Niagara, and TD Bank. Moved from Divany, a second from over here. Troy, all in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Number 6 is the receiver of taxes banking depositories, naming Sterling National and J.P. Morgan Chase. Move from Divany, second from Valentine. All in favor, say aye. The ayes have it. This is a item which comes up every year at the beginning of the year, which is setting the number of cents per mile that the IRS says is the proper reimbursement for people who need to use a car. So can I have a motion for 57.5 cents, please? From Divany, second from Moore. All in favor, say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Number 8 is the calendar. It has gone through various revisions. I think the changes of, thank you for the town board members who sort of suggested some little tweaks here and there. So that's the calendar, that's where we got to. The only change since last time we looked at a draft of it is that Chief Nolte said there was 1 or 2 more police commissions than he needed. So we made a small change. So there's a police commission the first workshop of each month, generally speaking.
Right, now how about 10:20 is, so the second police commissions are all out.
That is by choice of Chief Nolte. And we could obviously always schedule meetings with proper public notice if one is needed. And I think maybe because of another change that was made earlier in the calendar to an earlier draft, we ended up with the situation that Tom Moore pointed out by email, which I found a day or so ago, I think, that with a workshop on 12/8/15, it would be several weeks before we got to the regular town board meeting.
But that's fine.
It's not the end of the world.
That's fine.
Okay, because we can always add a
The big
meeting.
issue was in the middle of the year where we had big gaps, but that was
Right.
fixed.
Well, this is a gap. There's generally a gap around the holidays anyway, so.
And if you need one, you can have one at the end of the month, and that has happened in past years.
Just be aware that we could schedule, like you're saying, a regular town board meeting for the following Tuesday, which would be the 15th. Actually, can we just check on something? Hold on a second here. No, I guess that works. All right, we have a motion from Troy, a second from Divany. All in favor, say aye. The ayes have it. The calendar is approved as written. Number 9, this is the continuation of our agreement with Wilson Elser, a law firm and a lobbying firm. Movement from Divany, second from Moore. All in favor, say aye. The ayes have it. We've received a letter of resignation from James Dodge from Akabor. I just want to recognize him for his service and accept his resignation. I'll make a motion for that. Do I have a second? Second from Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 11 is the appointment of Ken Skabinski, Chief Operator, Grade 3, Permanent. That's from Personnel Department. Someone want to make a motion for that one? Okay. I asked for a motion.
Oh, I'll move it.
Motion from Moore. Do I have a second over here? Troy, all in favor, say aye. The ayes have it. The next personnel item, again, it's a somewhat of a housekeeping type of thing, but Stephanie Tisello being appointed as principal account clerk, and it has the details of the salary and so on. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second? Second from Divany. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Number 13 is authorizing the Finance Department to pay utility bills prior to the town audit to avoid late payment charges. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second? From Valentine, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. 14 is another payment by the Finance Department to pay vouchers for the general fund and so on and so forth, all the way down through to special parking funds for a total of $1.316,581,001. Can I hear a motion for this, please? Move from Divany, second from Moore. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Excuse me. We were going to have an executive session.
John, it's got new
Sorry, John, did we miss something?
We doing any new business today? I wanted to add something to the agenda, I didn't get a chance to put it on.
For what? Oh, we need to, I thought we could make them pay for that.
Yeah, we have to.
We have to take town board action on that?
Yes.
Oh.
I'll bring up John.
John, could you please come up and tell us about it? Thanks.
As you know, we have NL Tech in front of the zoning board appeals for performance standards, and we've been searching for an expert. The zoning board wants to use an expert to review the air emissions. As part of that search, we found 2 experts that are qualified. We're in the process of getting some proposals, trying to do this during the holiday. So it's been difficult because the next meeting is January 20th.
21st.
It's 21st, so we're trying to get this done before the meeting to have an outside consultant expert review it. Came to my attention today, later this afternoon, I got an email from Deputy Town Attorney Dennis Michaels. In that email, he pointed out there's a section that the zoning board can hire an outside consultant or an expert, but the way it reads is that the consultants have to be selected by the town board so that the zoning board can then approve one of these consultants.
So you have a recommendation of 2 who you feel are qualified?
Well, there's 2, yes, that do air emissions. It's been difficult to find someone. I actually reached out to the health department, and Debbie in my office calling other consultants, and Debbie got in touch with someone from DEC who actually gave her these names. So we were able to get 2 of them to actually come back. One actually submitted a proposal today, we're waiting for another one tomorrow. The proposals are to review the performance standards for the air emissions, and then what will happen is we'll send those proposals to the applicant, and they would agree to pay it. They send us a check, we hold an escrow, consultant does a review, and then the review goes to the zoning board, and then it gets read at the meeting.
Do you have a communication from the zoning board requesting this, or at least in the minutes of their meeting, that they want to do
I
this?
don't have it with me, I mean, I could probably grab that for you.
Does it exist?
I'm sure it does.
Well, in the minutes of the
Discussed
meeting,
it.
of their meeting?
Excuse me?
Is it in the minutes of their meeting?
I'm not sure if it's in the minutes, I can't say that for
Is
sure.
it?
Not from that, I was at that meeting, no.
So,
No, what I had thought after attending that meeting is that I thought from the planning board that they would have the outside consultant. To me, I don't care one way or the other.
Well-
I'd still like to see the outside
the reason
consultant.
it's in front of the zoning board for performance standards, and they review the resume of operations. One of the things they look at is emissions,
Yeah.
or they
So-
review noise, emissions.
Yeah, I thought it was requested, I thought NL Tech was all right with paying
Yeah.
for it, it seemed to me, so as long as you feel they're qualified.
I support the idea, I'm just looking to make sure that, you know, it's formalized.
Well, it's coming out of the attorney from the zoning board, Dennis Michaels.
And give you copies
Okay.
of their qualifications.
What's the
What the
resolution?
resolution supposed to state?
I'm sorry?
You know what the resolution is supposed to state?
That you approved the zoning board to look at these 2 consultants.
And pick
I
one.
think that this was written years ago in the code, and probably at that time, we used to pay for the consultant. Now the consultant is paid for by the applicant. So that's why I think it's, because for planning board, we don't do that.
John, do you
I,
have any-
I think the basic gist of this is that in general, the land use boards can refer matters to expert consultants and have the applicant pay, but those expert consultants are approved by the town. So whenever they're needed, they can be used. And in this case, we don't have an air emissions consultant who we've used before and who's already been approved many years ago, like we do with traffic consultants and drainage experts and everything else, probably noise experts, who knows what. So in this case, the town board's action would establish a air emissions expert, which the zoning board or the planning board, I guess, could refer things to when needed.
We have 2 that the DEC recommended, and John read their resumes and approved them, so I'm supporting.
So this is a new business resolution resolved, the town board appoints X and Y, Trinity Consultants, right, John?
Right, they're out of Philadelphia.
Sorry?
They're out of Philadelphia,
So Trinity Consultants is one, and is there another one?
yes.
I'm just looking for it. And Triumvirate Environmental. Those are the names of the two companies the town board is appointing to kind of become our bench of air emissions experts.
At least one of them.
Right.
Well,
Oh,
appoint both, and then they can choose.
yeah, they can do
Depending on the proposals they
Yeah.
submit.
right.
As, and in their resolutions, as recommended by the DEC.
So resolved, the town board appoints these two companies, which I've just named. What did you say, as requested? As recommended by the DEC, and to be available to the building department, planning board, zoning board. The zoning board. But I just think it should be generally available, right?
Available to all the boards.
Yes.
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Valentine, a second from Troy. All in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you, John. That's very important. Glad you brought that. All right, so the other item, which we've been asked by Teresa Kenny, or one of our town attorneys, is to have an executive session on a matter relating to, I guess, legal counsel on a personnel question. Is that the right way of putting it? Okay. And we will do that, but we will adjourn proactively. Yes, sir.
Just make one announcement. This Friday, there's a rally for Blue Lives Matter in support of police everywhere, particularly in light of what's happened in New York City. It's in Central Avenue Field in Pearl River from 7 to 8:30. And a couple of weeks ago, they had an impromptu rally that drew a lot of people. It was very heartfelt rally. But this Friday, even if it's cold, it'd be good to get a big gathering out there from 7 to 8:30 in Pearl River to show our support for the police everywhere.
And apropos of that, we would like to adjourn tonight in the memory of the two NYPD officers who were murdered just a few weeks ago while sitting in their police car, Rafael Ramos and Wenjon Liu. We're going to add an adjournment in the memory of Marie Liverati.
What was her son's name? Was your detective?
Well, her husband was Ray Rardy, hired back in 1994. Very well known, he was obviously detective also.
Thank you for that. So in the memory of these fine individuals and in solidarity with police officers in particular and any government employee, whoever faces a dangerous situation while serving the public, we will adjourn this meeting. But first, we need to go into executive session on to get legal counsel, as described before. Jeff, do we have I thought the whole point of these,
The last resolution that you approved is effectively the audit.
So we don't need to go through this one. Okay, that's fine.
thank you very much.
Sneaking things through.
All right, and it's conveniently enough, we can actually, if we need to, we can meet in the room that the judges use for their meetings.
So who's making this motion?
I'm sorry, motion for executive session for myself. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second from Moore. All in favor, say aye. The ayes have it.